Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the available options for Google Docs, which is similar to other word processors like Microsoft Word or OpenOffice. And so along this bar here are a lot of standard and quite useful buttons that you can use to manipulate your text. So starting on the left-hand side, obviously this one is print. I don't really need to go into that one too much. It's pretty self-explanatory what that does. This one here is probably my most important button, the undo button. So for example, if you are making an error or if you select a bunch of text and accidentally paste it in the wrong place, like I'm about to do here, um, this would really mess up my quire. I would need to undo and it keeps track of all of your history that you've changed to the document. So if there was something 10 steps ago that you want to undo, you can certainly go back all the way that far and redo as well. Paint format. The way that works, this title here, Let There Be Peace on Earth, which is in bold and underlined and a certain font and a certain size, if I want to apply all of those criteria of that text to another set of text, I would select that text first and then go over here and click Paint Format. And then what I would do is I would select the text that I want that style of format to apply to. And after I do that, that text becomes the same size, bold, underlined, etc. Since I don't really like that, I can use my handy undo button to get rid of that as well. Next, we have just a standard zoom, all the way down from 50% to 100%. I believe you can put in specifically whatever sort of percent that you want. Um, so that's for if you're working on text that's quite small and you want to zoom in, then you can certainly do that. This one here are style buttons. This is quite handy if you have a document with a lot of titles and subtitles, and you want to just follow a standard format instead of worrying about getting the subtitle or each of your subtitles exactly the same style. You can set that here, and it will apply those particular subsets of text styles to whatever you've selected. You always do have to select it first. For example, if I wanted this to be a subtitle, I would select it first. I would go up here and then I would select subtitle and it would apply those text characteristics to that text. It's kind of just a nifty little shortcut when you are working on a document and you want to apply the same thing to the same areas. This one is pretty standard. There's lots of great little fonts in here. What is really great, however, is sometimes in schools we want a certain style or we want a certain style of letters, and we don't see it here in our standard fonts. If you click on More Fonts, which is down here at the bottom, there is what seems to me almost an infinite amount of fonts. And what's really nice is it'll apply those particular fonts that are used commonly by yourself or fonts that you've selected. For example, if I wanted to choose Merriweather and I wanted to apply that to my fonts, I would just click on it and it appears over here. There's certain fonts that are in your font list that you for sure won't use. You can deselect those as well. And like I said, there seems to be almost an infinite amount of different styles of fonts. Just when you seem like you've gotten to the bottom, there is more and more and more. But pretty handy and pretty versatile as well. This is just simply font size, which is pretty standard. The bigger the number, the bigger the font size. We have bold and italics and underline and text color as well. If you wanted to insert a link into your document, you can use this button here. So if I wanted to insert a link from, let's say, my old Ottawa Catholic School Board letterhead, and I wanted to insert that here, I would go back into my document and click on Insert Link. And I would paste the URL of that link. And instead of this, I believe I can have that also, if I wanted to replace the link with just a piece of text, I could have done that as well. I can go back and do that as well. Let's see. So insert a link. I paste the link in here. And then if I wanted to accompany it with text, I could do that too. And then instead of having that long, ugly link, it would just have this nice, neat and tidy link that can be clicked on as well. Okay, so next we have alignment, left, center, right, and your justification. Line spacing, those are pretty standard. There's some nice auto formatting bulleted and numbered lists that you can use here. One of the most handy tools that I've seen is over here, which we'll talk about when we get into the sharing of documents, because I believe that one of the greatest features of Google Docs is the sharing feature, and with that comes this nifty feature that has to do with editing and suggesting edits and preview viewing.